Hey y'all, it's Lindsay. I thought today we could do another What I Eat in a Day video. It is about 9 a.m. and my husband and our two big girls, they went to an amusement park today, so they're off having a blast. The little one and I are home alone, and we will probably be doing some chores. We will probably be playing outside a lot, which means her constantly saying, "Mom, watch this. Look at me for a long time," while I attempt to get weeds pulled.
And Mama, remember when I came on this swing and I went really fast?
You went really fast on the swing? Okay. There's gonna be a lot of that for me. Anyway, I need to put together some breakfast first, sort that out, and clearly I need more coffee. Always need more coffee. And, oh, I have been taking my blood measurements for glucose and for ketones every morning right at about 6:03 a.m. It's pretty spot on. And I today was at a 92 glucose, yikes, and a 1.0 ketones. So technically I'm okay, kind of. I'm below 100 on the Dr. Boz ratio, so that's a plus. But not exactly where I want to be. Yesterday, I had a lot more protein at the dinner time hour than I have in a while. And my bedtime drink, I did decaf coffee with some coconut oil and butter and like 2 drops of stevia because I don't care for the flavor of butter in coffee without a touch of sweetness. I don't know. It's just a preference. I don't believe I got as much coconut oil and butter in that coffee as I normally do. It's probably about half the amount. So I'm sure that also impacted my 1.0 reading on the ketone monitor. I'm not sure what else. I do have some zucchini bread that my oldest and I had made a few days ago that is low carb friendly. So I might slice some of that up. I've got a package of bacon open in the refrigerator. I have a pile of eggs I could cook. I have a pot of yogurt that I set to culture yesterday and it's done and ready to be strained. I don't know. There's a whole variety of things that I have, so I'm gonna go rifle through the fridge, make a decision, and I will show you breakfast shortly. Here is my breakfast today. I have 3 slices of a zucchini bread. I did use the Southern Keto Cookbook recipe. It turns out really crumbly and a little bit too dry for my liking, so I'm definitely not gonna follow the recipe exactly the next time I try to make this. But my oldest, she is very interested in cooking and sort of shifting the way that she's eating slowly, so she and I made that together, and it's easier for her to see recipes that have, like, you know, the nice pretty pictures and all that stuff in the cookbooks. I also have 5 slices of bacon alongside this, and this is like the thin sliced bacon, not super thick, so it's lower on the protein content. And I have a half-drunk cup of black coffee. Once that is finished, I will be making some fatty coffee for myself. Whoop, you're kind of wonky there, sorry. All right, breakfast is gone. I have my little jar of coconut oil. I tend to only put butter in my coffee at night right now. And I'm going to scrape about a tablespoon, I suppose, into my coffee cup. I like to scrape it off on the back side of the spoon, which might sound odd, but it's a lot easier for it to get off my cup. Or my spoon rather, and then I'm going to use a half scoop of salted caramel MCT oil powder. That's not quite half a scoop there. Let's get there. I have a perfect keto order coming today, which makes me very excited because that means my cereal that I ordered in the Buy More, Save More sale will be, ta-da! It'll be here. Okay. Pouring up the coffee. That's the end of the pot. Hooray. All right, I'm gonna go wash this, take the coffee, head outside and hang out with my tiniest human for a little while. Hey, it is almost 12:40 and I'm starting to get a little bit hungry, and I've also discovered from just testing my numbers and being mindful of what the previous day food has looked like, or the previous day's food has looked like, having my protein earlier in the day seems to be a more favorable choice for my blood ketones and for my blood glucose the following morning. So I dug through the deep freeze just to see what we had, and there was a ribeye that was from February maybe. It needed to be cooked because it was starting to look like it was ready to go. So I went ahead and I took that, I cut it in half lengthwise to try to get the right amount of fat per side, and I didn't necessarily want to eat an entire ribeye. So all I have is a bit of butter, a sprinkle of a real salt, and I will package that up to save for another time. All right, there was an incident with a stair and a kneecap, and so my steak stayed on the fire a little bit longer than I wanted it to, but here is my steak. Hopefully it's still kind of rare on the inside, and I put a pat of butter on top. And then I'm going to have a cherry bubbly to go alongside that. I have made myself some snack. It is about 3:30 right now, and I am feeling really kind of snacky and hungry. I tried drinking just plain old water. That didn't help. So I went ahead and I played electrolyte roulette, where I just reach into the cabinet and pull out what I pull out. And I got mixed berry from Redmond. I do my little hot water trick, let the powder, the electrolytes dissolve in the hot water, and then fill it with our reverse osmosis water over there. I don't care for ice cold water usually, so that's what we got there. And then I took a couple of tablespoons of some cream cheese here, warmed it up in the microwave till it was just like softened up. And then I added on some of the seasoned salt from Redmond. And I'm going to use pork rinds to get this in my mouth. And if I am satisfied after that, awesome. But if not, I might have some pecans. These are the Members Mark from Sam's Club. These pork rinds are from Sam's Club as well. It literally just has fried pork skins and salt. So pretty simple ingredients on that. And we'll see how far this gets me. Hey. It's 6:30 in the evening and time has slipped away from us. Me and the youngest went and ran errands. We had a few things that we had to go deal with, and we got back home. I made her some dinner. It's just the two of us tonight with my husband and the big girls still being away at the amusement park. That'll be well into the evening for them. So I am solo kind of for dinner as far as what I'm gonna do. And I don't do this very often, but I thought about the fact that I have 3 creamy bases hanging out in the freezer here in the basement kitchen, and I want to go ahead and spin one of those, and my lighting is going to go all cattywampus on me. All right, I have a vanilla creamy base, and this is, oh, my lights, blah, blah. This one is from Brianna Thomas's cookbook. I can't remember if it was necessary food or convenient food. I think it may have been necessary food, but it's just her basic ice cream recipe. I did not use cottage cheese in this. Instead, I used my homemade yogurt, and I used coconut milk, not almond milk. All of those things. But it's like an unflavored coconut milk as opposed to like canned coconut milk. So that'll be nice. I need to go get my mix-ins. All right, I grabbed the Perfect Keto chocolate cereal. So I'm gonna do like a vanilla with cookies and cream kind of situation here in my cookie base. I mentioned a sale, gosh, it must have been 2 weeks ago or so, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. I can't quite remember. That was the buy more, save more deal. And I got MCT oil powder to replenish my stash because that is probably my favorite product from them. And then I loved their Honey Nut cereal so much that I decided to give chocolate a try. Neely touted it highly, so what Neely says, we buy. I mean, not all of it, but a lot of it, right? So anyway, so I'm going to mix this in to my creamy right there. I need to buy more creamy containers at some point because only 3 is not sufficient for all of the varieties that I want to keep. And I finally had to start doing like the painter tape thing on the lid because we were forgetting what kind was what. And I think the 4-year-old's down here. You ever like just turn around and all of a sudden you know they're watching you? Oh my word, you were watching.
Mama,
What?
I'll clean the upstairs for you.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you, Sweet Pea. She's going to clean the upstairs for me. She now has her own little cleaning supplies. So she's a big deal. She's a big deal. So, okay. I have not left this out for but a couple of moments, and I generally like to leave my bases out for about 30 minutes or so, but I'm impatient. We're just going to spin it. It doesn't smell very vanilla-y, so that is exciting.
Mama,
Okay.
I'll clean the whole house.
Oh, she's going to clean the whole house.
Not the kitchen that you already in.
Not the kitchen I'm in, though. Okay, it's good stuff. I had someone comment saying that the Smoothie Bowl button on sugar-free ice cream was a game changer. And I've tried it once, and I didn't see the game-changedness that I was hoping for. So I'm going to give it a try again and see what happens. So, Smoothie Bowl it is. Well, it definitely looks a lot more like Dippin' Dots than previous spins. Wow. I finally outfit this kitchen with some utensils. That is like better for sure. This recipe is better too. All right, I brought down some heavy whipping cream. I'm going to just put a little splash in there, probably about an extra tablespoon. And then I'm going to respin it. This is sorry, here you are. You're on a little bitty short tripod. This looks tremendously better than the, just like spinning it on the light ice cream way. Now this flavor from Brianna Thomas, the basic ice cream, I mean, you can definitely taste vanilla, but beyond that, it doesn't really have a ton of flavor in it. So chew down. So I'm going to mix in. Did I cut that low enough? Probably would have been wise to leave that sealed, except for like a tiny little like spot where it could pour out. Okay, I should probably have tried these before I actually dumped them into my ice cream. Okay, chocolate. That's not bad, not bad. It definitely tastes more desserty and a little bit like an Oreo. Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Yeah. I think that'll add some interesting texture and maybe a bit of flavor. Mix in. All right. definitely looks like cookies and cream. And it definitely broke up a little bit of it to make, you know, kind of like that light sort of like crumb incorporation. Oh, it's so cold. It is so cold. But it does add more flavor, that's for sure. Okay. Rarely, and I mean very rarely, do I ever eat ice cream for dinner. But I'm going to go eat like half of this pint. And that's going to be my dinner tonight. So, well, technically, okay, let's reverse for a second. Can I sit? You know what? I'm gonna actually sit at the stools here. We're slowly but surely getting our basement situated the way we want it for a family space. So that's exciting. Okay, so the recipe that I used was from Brianna Thomas, the Necessary Food cookbook, her basic ice cream. I've said that to you. Sorry for repeating myself. The listing on her recipe ingredients called for like 2.5 cups of almond milk and then a whole host of other items. So what I did was I blended together everything except the almond milk while also substituting the cottage cheese for my homemade yogurt. Okay, so I blended up that minus the almond milk, and then I split that blended up portion of the recipe between 2 of my creamy containers, and then I topped off the rest of the creamy container to the max fill line. Actually, it was like slightly under the max fill line with my unsweetened, unflavored coconut milk. And then I just stuck my spoon in there and I whisked it up really well so that it was all incorporated. I divided it between 2 pints, and I intend on probably eating about half this pint before I get mad brain freezes and feel full. So that's what I'm going to do now. And then I think I might have a fatty coffee because that sounds great. And I might go watch Gabby's Dollhouse with my 4-year-old. You know, it's a wild night. So I wound up eating the entire pint. Oh well, I have been drinking water, so that I've got that going for me. And I've forgotten to take my my iodine for today, so I am going to make myself a fatty coffee and plop my drops of my 20% iodine in my coffee. And I also need to go get my coffee maker for tomorrow morning rigged up here, so I'm going to go manage the things, and I will share my fatty coffee with you momentarily. It's 8:45. I finally made my way to the coffee maker and made myself a fatty coffee. This has a little less than 1 tablespoon of butter, 1 tablespoon of coconut oil, and a couple drops of stevia that I used my little hand frother back there to whiz up. I also tucked my... Where is it? It needs better lighting. I need some under cabinet lighting at some point. My Lugel's 20%. I did a couple of drops of that. I currently do 2 drops, but that is not something I would recommend for most people. In fact, I don't recommend anything for anybody because I'm not a doctor. So that is my fatty coffee, and that will be the last amount of calories that I consume for today. Okay, once I finish the coffee that's back there, I am going to call that a night. It's going to be delicious coffee. I have really grown to like the butter in the coffee without as much sweetener now. It's like been a slow progression to enjoying that. I know my food choices today were rather uninspired, and that's kind of what happens whenever it's me and one of the girls, or you know, half of the family is off doing something different. It's just uninspiring at best. And there are times when I try to be a little bit more involved with the food, I guess. And then there are times like today when I'm like, you know what? I want basic. I want simple. I don't want anything that I have to think too hard about. I mean, Ninja Creamy base, that took effort, and that was done a couple days ago for me to be able to blend that up and spin that tonight. So overall, very low effort on the food. Sometimes that happens, and today was fine. I spent a lot of time with Miss 4-year-old, keeping her occupied. I really appreciate it when her sisters want to play with her because her imagination is the size of the universe and they are happy to play along with her. Whereas I'm like, okay, I would love to continue to play with you. However, I also have to go manage like the house. So the responsibilities somewhat outweigh the time that I have to do both. But she seems to have had a good day overall. Anyway, okay, I'm blathering on for absolutely no good reason. If you're new around here, I would love for you to poke around my channel, check it out, see if there's anything of interest to you. Consider subscribing if there is. And if you're a returning viewer, thanks so much for hanging out with me on this rather boring food day. So I hope to see y'all in my next one.